All right, so we're going live on StreamYard first. I'm going to turn that air down because now it's getting cold. 172. All right. All right, let's go live on IG. So checking connection. We're going to go live on IG. And then let's go live on the TikTok. All right, let's see what we've got here. 2 days before Thanksgiving. Let's see who's paying attention here. All right, so we are live. We're going to go live here on about 5-7 platforms. Okay, sounds good. We are live here. So we're going to go live here on, 7 different platforms. So we're going to go live here on my desktop on our Facebook group, Sales Revolution. Got about 40,000 of you run around in there. We're going to go live here in our Facebook business page. Got about 90,000 of you run around on that. Going to go live here on YouTube, LinkedIn, my personal Facebook here on my desktop. We're going to go live here on Instagram. Love you guys on Instagram. Got about, I think, 235,000 followers on IG now in the last year. Last year, that thing's growing like crazy. And then we're going live here on the TikTok phone. So if I go back between phones, I'm going live on TikTok phone, live on the IG phone, and then live on my desktop using StreamYard and YouTube, our LinkedIn channel, our big Facebook group, our big Facebook page. Now, today we're going to go over a subject that I know a lot of you lose deals from. Okay. How do I know that? Because it's a very searched term on Google, AdWords, and other search engines. How many times have you lost sales when you've gotten to the end of a conversation, or you've gotten to the end of your sales process, whether you sell B2C or B2B, and the prospect says, this sounds really good. It sounds really good, but can you just send me some references? Can you send me some references I can talk to? And you send them the references, and then they never get back to you. Or you send them the references and you call them back a week later and they still never called the references. And then you're chasing them down and then it just never materializes into a sale. Now, if you lose sales with what you sell, when the prospect says, can you send me references, and you send them references and they still don't buy, in the chat, message, that's me. Message me, like, I lose sales from that. Now, I'm going to show you why they're even asking for references. I'm going to show you what's going on in a prospect's brain that triggers them to even ask for references. So if you lose sales when a prospect asks for references, if they don't call them, or even if they do call them, then they ghost you, message in the chat, say, that's me. Like, I lose deals from that. Now, I'm also going to show you what to do in the beginning of a sales call. If you get into a sales appointment or sales meeting, whether it's virtual or whether it's in person or whether it's on the phone, and the prospect immediately says, hey, I'm really busy right now. Can you just send me a proposal? Can you just send me a quote? Can you just send me some information and I'll get back to you if I'm interested? How many of you lose sales because of that? Well, I'm going to show you why your prospect even says that. I'm going to show you that's why it's a triggered response. And I'm going to show you how to respond to that, where you disarm the prospect and trigger them to actually want to open up and engage. Now, if you lose sales from any of those, type me in the comment section, whatever platform you're on, whether you're on YouTube or LinkedIn or our Facebook group or IG or TikTok. Now, here's what we're going to do today. If you're brand new to our Facebook group, Sales Revolution, or you just started following me on Instagram here, or TikTok, or LinkedIn, or YouTube, or whatever, my name is Jeremy Miner. I'm the chairman and founder of Seventh Level, all right? We are an organization that trains salespeople exactly like you watching me here right now in this black shirt. It's kind of a weird yellow black shirt, but anyways, that's me. All right. So we train salespeople like you. We train sales executives like you. We train sales leaders like you, sales management like you. We train coaches, consultants like you, entrepreneurs, business owners. We train you and your teams to transform the way they communicate and sell by learning specific skilled questions and techniques that actually work with human behavior. Okay. That actually trigger your prospect to want to open up and actually want to engage. Now, we call those NEPQs. That stands for neuro-emotional persuasion questions, all right? NEPQ, all right? Now, we have to teach you the right tonality. Do you need to come across more in a skeptical tone in certain questions that you ask? Do you need to come across more of a concerned tone or more empathy in your voice at certain parts of the conversation? Well, where do you know when to do that? Because if we don't know how to do that, it affects everything that happens next, whether they say yes or no, or if that sale moves forward or moves backwards, all right? So we're going to go over that. Now, if you want to acquire the skills that our clients are acquiring, that are crushing you right now, and I'm dead serious when I say that sell in the exact same industry that you are, that probably make 3 times more what you are now, they didn't before, or they're making 4 or 5 times more than what you are now. If you want to acquire those skills, message me directly right now. Okay. If you want to start making your first 10 grand a month in commissions in your industry right now, I'm talking every single month, not 1 month you're up, the next month you're down. That means you're still winging it. All right. You want to start acquiring your first 15 grand a month in commissions in your industry, or you want to start making your first 20 or 25,000 per month in what you sell now, or maybe 30 or 40,000 a month with what you sell or more. I can assure you, we have clients in your industry we are training that make more than that now. Okay. So if that's you, message me directly right now. So if you're on IG and TikTok, message me directly right now. If you're in LinkedIn or the Facebook group or my Facebook or the business page, message me directly right now. If you're on YouTube, you can't message me. We love you. Just post hashtag NEPQ, post hashtag NEPQ. If you can't figure out how to message me because you're an old dude like me and you don't understand how to message people on social media, post hashtag NEPQ. Yes, we train people in real estate sales, Nick. Train thousands of people in your space. Thousands. We train 158 industries. Yours is probably one of the top 50 we train in. All right. So message me directly right now, and we'll message you back some training options that we have for your industry if you want to acquire those skills to make that type of income level. All right. Now let's get to work. Here we go. All right. Blake, can we move these over here so they can see the board? Oh, hey, what I want you guys to do right now as well is I forgot to even do this. What the hell am I thinking? You know, Turkey Day is on my mind. Santa Claus is on my mind already. There's Christmas music all around the square here. So if you're on the live right now, post hashtag live. And if you're on the replay, post hashtag replay. So if you're on the live right now, post hashtag live. Go down to your phone. And if you're on the replay, post hashtag replay. And I want each of you to smash the heart button. And I want each of you to smash the like button. I better see hundreds of smashed hearts. And I better see hundreds of smashed likes, because I can tell you what, I can go out there and just walk around and start singing Jingle Bell Rock out here around the office. All the Christmas music's already been playing for like a month now, right? Do you train people in the education technology industry? Yes. Let me repeat myself. We train every single industry on planet Earth. According to Forbes, there's 158 different industries and subsets. We train in every single one. We're a pretty large company at this point. Inc. Magazine ranked us the fastest growing sales training company in 2021 and in 2020 in all the United States of America. We have grown crazy. We have thousands of clients at this point, tens of thousands. All right, let's how do we roll this up over here where they can see? Is that one good right there? Okay, so you can flip that bad boy, and then let's go over this. I want to make sure these IG people on TikTok can see the board. Can you guys see the board there? All right, here we go, folks. All right, now, so what do you do? So let me address something. When the prospect says send me references, here's why they're doing it. They have some type of concern, so they're asking for validation. There's a couple different reasons, actually. They have a concern, or they're trying to get rid of you. Those are typically the two biggest reasons, all right? The reason why they have uncertainty is because there's certain things that you're saying and not asking that's triggering uncertainty in that prospect's mind. And that's why they're asking for references, because they don't trust what you're saying is actually true. Okay, I want to make sure you guys understand that. There's uncertainty in their mind. They have some type of concern and or concerns. They're not telling you what those concerns are. And that's why they're asking to send you references. So we have to find out what the real concern is. Most of the time, if you follow what I show you how to do on this board, you can find out what the real concern is and actually close that deal on the spot. And if you can't find out the real concern, I'm going to show you how to send over references and then have scheduled times when you know when they're going to call them and what they're looking for in that conversation and what the next step is after they talk to the reference, because I'm going to show you all of that. Anybody want to learn that possibly? All right. Now, let's go through this, all right? First of all, we have to ask some qualifying questions to find out if this prospect is serious about changing their situation, they have a concern like I talked about, or they're just wasting your time. So if a prospect says this, Okay, and I put it on the board here right behind me. I want everybody to make sure they can see this. I'm going to try to get out of the way here for you guys. Prospect says, this sounds really good. Can you just send me some references, Jeremy? Yeah, that's not a problem. I'm curious, what would you like to say to them when you call? Yeah, that's not a problem. I'm curious, what would you like to ask them when you call? Now, I'm going to give you two different versions of this. First of all, we need to disarm them. So we just agree. Yeah, we're not going to argue. We're not going to say, well, why do you want references? Why do you need to talk with somebody? That's just going to trigger more resistance. They're just going to emotionally shut down. So we just agree. We say, yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah, that's not a problem. I'm curious, what would you like to ask them when you call? Yeah, that's not a problem. What would you like to ask them when you call? Well, I'd like to talk about, or I'd like to ask them about. Now, here's another way that I actually personally like even better. Okay. Yeah, that's not a problem. Now, just so I can send the right people to you, what specifically would you like to discuss with them? I would use this one. It's even more money. Like there's two different versions. Use the second one, even better for you guys. Okay. So here's how you do it. Yeah, that's not a problem. Now, just so I can send the right people to you, what specifically would you like to discuss with them? Now here's the key. Whatever the prospect says at that point is more than likely the real concern or is leading to what their real concern is. It's either whatever they say, well, I'd like to talk to them about this, or I've got a question around how it's going to work with this. And that's typically what their concern is. Or like there's one more layer that you have to peel off to find out what the real concern is. Does that make sense? So when I say, yeah, that's not a problem. Now, just so I can send the right people to you, what specifically would you like to discuss with them? Well, I'd like to know about, or they might say, well, it's just a lot of money and I'm just wanting to see how quick we can get an ROI. Let's say if you sold something that helps them make more money or scale their business or whatever you sell. Okay. What if they say, well, it's just a lot of money and I'm just wanting to see how quick we can get an ROI? Well, that's a real concern, that they have a money concern or budget concern. Now you know what to address or answer. Or they have a concern they're not going to get an ROI from it if that's what type of industry you sell it, depending on your industry. Okay. Now you know what the real concern is. Now you can address it and typically help them overcome it and actually close a deal on the spot. Now, what if they say this? Okay, I'll give you another example. Well, I'd like to find out from them about the XYZ model and what it does in like ABC situations. Okay, well, that's a concern. That's just something generic I threw out. Okay, that makes sense. Now, when you wanted to know how it handles in ABC situations, is that something you have a concern about? Let me do that again. That makes sense. Now, when you asked like how it would work in ABC different situations, like off the record, is that something that concerns you? Oh, yeah. Well, can you tell me a little bit more about it so I understand? Well, yeah, in the past we had XYZ vendor and then they start to tell you a past experience, maybe with a different company that didn't work out. Now you know they have a concern and you can help them resolve that concern. Now, let's say in this example that you just can't get it out of them. Let's say even after that, they still want to talk with some references because sometimes that can happen. Now, we have to make sure that if you give them references, that you know when they're calling them and you know what the next step is after they talk to them. If you don't know those two things, what is the likelihood that that deal is going to go through? Pretty much zero. Because what do? You give them some references. They say they're going to call them this week. You wait a week. You call them back. Hey, did you talk to John and Billy and Sally? Oh, no, I haven't had time yet. And then there you are. You got nothing. Now you're chasing mode and the deal's not going through. See how that works? All right. You don't want to fall into that trap. So let me go through this again. Yeah, that's not a problem. Now, just so I can send the right people to you, what specifically would you like to discuss with them? Well, I'd like to talk with them about X and Y and Z. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, when do you plan on calling them just so I can see if they'd be available for you? That's the next words out of your mouth. Okay, that makes sense. Now, when do you plan on calling them just so I can see if they'd be available for you? Notice how you're positioning them and them. Okay, you have to have a set up time. Let's say if they say something like this. Well, I don't know. I'd probably call them in the next couple of days. Okay, well, what I can do is, here, let me show you this screen here. Okay, write this down quick. I don't have a lot of time, okay? So let's say, well, I'd probably just call them tomorrow afternoon if that works. Okay, well, what I can do, John, is reach out to them to see if that would work for their schedule. Now, let's pretend for a moment that the clients you talk to, say good things about how we were able to solve the same type of XYZ problem that you said you're having, where do you think we should go from there? Now, let me repeat that. Okay, I can reach out to them to see if that would work for their schedule. Now, let's pretend for a moment that the clients you talk to say good things about how we were able to solve X and Y and Z problems that you said you were having, your company. Where do you think we should go at that point? Now, let me give you a warning. If the client says, well, at that point, I'd have to talk with the board to see if we could get a budget. Or at that point, I would need to talk with my financial advisor. Or at that point, I would need to see if we could get the money together. Or at that point, I would have to go back to my vendor to see what they would offer. Then you know you have a lot more work to do. There's a lot more challenges in this deal than you thought. If they say, oh, well, we would buy for sure, or we would do business with you, or we would draw up the agreement, or we would, progress it to the next step, then you know that this is a serious person that you're talking to, a serious prospect, okay? Let me give you a warning. If you simply agree to send a prospect references without a commitment to know when they are talking to them and what the next step is after they talk to them, you know what happens. You will more than likely never hear from that prospect again. Are you guys with me on that? Okay, raise or say, yeah, that makes sense. All right, write that down real quick. Now, who in here ever does sales calls, especially with outbound leads, sometimes inbound leads, okay? And the prospect says, oh, hey, I'm just too busy to talk right now. Tell you what, can you just send me a proposal or can you just send me a quote and I'll get back to you if I'm interested? How many of you lose sales because of that? I know you lose a lot of sales to that. So I'm going to show you how to overcome that. All right. Now, let's look at this. So if they ask you towards the beginning of the call, before you've even found out what their problems are, there's been no real discovery, to just send you a proposal or send you a quote, if you do that, you are dead in the water. You will more than likely never hear from that prospect ever again. Okay. I can assure you of that. All right. So the prospect says, hey, I'm just really busy right now. Can you just send me a quote or proposal and I'll get back to you if I'm interested? You want to first do what? We have to disarm them. So you simply say, yeah, that's not a problem. What were you hoping to see in the quote? Yeah, that's not a problem. What is it that you're hoping to see from the quote? Or what is it that you're hoping to see from the proposal? Well, I'm just trying to see if we have the budget for your XYZ product, service, program, whatever you sell. Then you say, okay, that makes sense. Now, what I can do, that makes sense. That might make sense. And before I send you a quote, now hold on, let's do this. I'm going to do this a bit. Okay, yeah, I'm lost here. Okay, that's not a problem. What is it that you're hoping to see from the quote? So we want to disarm them. Yeah, that's not a problem. What is it that you're hoping to see from the quote? They're going to tell you what they're hoping to see. And then they're going to say, now, it might make sense before I send you a quote, or let's say it was a proposal. Now, it might make sense before I send you a proposal if I understood a little bit more about who you're using for X and Y and Z and what type of results you're getting from that, just to see if we can even help, because maybe you don't even need us. For example, and then you're going to go right into your first situation questions. Now, let me repeat that again, okay? Okay, I understand. Now, it might make sense before I send you a proposal if I understood a little bit more about what you're using now and X and Y and Z and the type of results you're getting from that, just to see if we can help, because you might not even need us at the end of the day. For example, okay, now let me repeat it again because I know you guys are like, I can't write it down fast enough. Okay, I understand. Now, it might make sense before I send you a quote if I understood a little bit more about who you're using for X and Y and Z, just to see if we can even help you in the first place, because maybe you don't even need us. For example, who do you use? And then you go right into your first situation question. Now, let me show you something. Why on earth would I ever say, because maybe you don't even need us? Why would I ever say that, Jeremy? You're just letting them off the hook. No. You see, in the first 30 seconds, you have no credibility with that prospect. You have zero trust. They don't know anything about you. Okay. Now, do you know that they need you? Do you know that you can solve their problems? Of course you do. But they don't know that in the first 30 seconds. You have no authority with them. Now, what are you going to do at that point? Once you take them through that discovery process, what you do is you start building a gap from where they are compared to where they want to be. We call that their current state, current situation, compared to where they want to be. We call that their objective state. Current state, objective state. What's the gap in between? All these newfound problems that you're advanced questioning that you can learn that you haven't learned yet if you're not one of our clients, that builds a massive gap from where they are compared to where they want to be. Now, by the end of that, they feel like they have to have what you're offering, okay? But in the beginning, what's our first job? We have to disarm the prospect. We have to trigger them to let their guard down. Because if we can't do that, they just stay surface level and then they try to get rid of you, right? So we first have to disarm the prospect. We have to get them to let their guard down, and then we start to build a gap. So by the end of that conversation, they're like, I have to have what they're offering, because now they see the gap. Here, they don't have any trust yet. We have to disarm them first, okay? Now, let's say towards the end of that conversation, you take them through the discovery call. If you sell B2C and it's a one-call close, you can probably wrap up that deal, quote them, give them a proposal, whatever you do, and close them. If you sell more of a B2B complex sun environment that requires at least 2 touch points or 3 touch points or 5 touch points or 10 touch points, demo, proposal, boardroom meeting, whatever it is, at the end of that point, you're going to go back and address that together about putting together the quote, all right? Now, here's what you're going to do. Write this down quickly. I don't have much time, folks. Okay, so what I can do, Jane, is I'll get to work on putting together a proposal for you if you'd like. Now, let's assume for a minute that we go over the proposal with you and we're able to solve your XYZ problems so that you can ABC. You repeat back what they said they wanted. What do you see as the next step from there? Okay. Now, warning, never email them a quote. Never just email them a proposal without going through that with them virtually or in person. If you email a quote or a proposal without first going through it with them, more than likely you will never make that deal, because they're just going to read it. They have nothing to compare it to, and they just shop around, and you're dead in the water. You've got to get them on there, because if they have a concern, which more than likely they are, have a question, do you want to be on there with them to answer that, or just hope and pray it works out? Well, I would hope that you don't hope and pray it's going to work out, because that's like taking the hopium drug, and you don't want to do drugs, kids, if you want to be a top 1% earning sales professional in your industry, all right? So let me go back through that again. Okay, well, what I can do is I can get to work on putting together a quote. It could be a proposal, whatever you do there, okay, for you if you'd like. Now, let's assume for a minute that we go over that quote and proposal with you, and we're able to solve X and Y and Z, like you had mentioned, so that you can A, B, and C. And you repeat back what they said they wanted. What do you see as the next step at that point? Now, if the prospect says, oh, we would do business with you, we'd get the agreement, we'd move to the next step, you know they're serious. If they say, well, at that point, I'd have to see if I have the budget. Or at that point, I'd have to talk with my grandpa who's, a financial planner from Milwaukee. Or at that point, I'm going to have to blah, 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 blah. Well, now you know there's a lot of other concerns going on, and you've got a lot more work to do. Okay, now I'm going to show you one more. How many of you lose deals when the prospect says at the beginning of a conversation, hey, I'm really busy right now. I tell you what, can you just email me some information and then I'll get back to you next week? And you type out some information, you put it all together, you hit send, hoping and praying that the information is going to sell them. And then what happens 99.999% of the time? Well, you know what happens? You never hear back from them. Who wants to stop the freaking madness? Who wants to stop this? Like, why do you put yourself through hell when you don't have to, when you can completely control everything? All right. Here's what you're going to do here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's not a problem. Now, just so I can, hey, Jeremy, I'm just really busy. Can you send me some information? I'll get back to you next week on it. Yeah, not a problem, George. Now, just so I can put together the best information for you, what exactly are you looking for in that? Let me repeat that. Yeah, sure thing, John. That's not a problem. Now, just so I can put together the best information for you, what exactly are you looking for in that? Well, I'm looking to see how your XYZ product could A, B, and C. Okay. And who do you use now for your, and then what do you do? It's a simple way to start going through the engagement stage with your first, what are called situation questions. Okay. See how you went from just emailing information to then segueing right into your first situation questions. Okay, let me repeat that. Well, I'm just looking to see how your product would X and Y and Z. Okay, that makes sense. And who do you use now for your? Now, If you're in a B2C one call close, at that point, you'll just take them through the entire engagement stage series from situation questions to problem awareness to solution awareness to consequence questions to transition into your presentation to commitment questions to closing the deal. If you're in a two-step close, or maybe you sell B2B, it's more of a complex sound environment. You need to schedule a demo next or a proposal or a meeting with a department head or whatever your next step is. You're just transitioning into that next step. And so what you're going to do at the end of that is you're going to say this and write this down. I'm not going to repeat myself. I love you guys. But anyways, I'm thinking about Thanksgiving. I'm thinking about gravy. I'm thinking about creamed corn. I'm thinking about just everything like peach pie, apple pie. What's your favorite, Blake? What's your favorite pie?
I like pumpkin pie.
You're like pumpkin pie. You're the pumpkin pie man over here. Blake, the videographer. All right. So good first call. So you address this at the end. So let's say you're in a 2-call close or 3-call close, or, it's more like you have to schedule the next step demo or proposal, whatever you sell, B2C, B2B, you bring it back up at the end. Okay. After you've taken them through the engagement stage, you say something like this. Okay. So good first call. That gives us a better understanding of what's going on. Now, what I can do, if you'd like, is put together some information, some details on how we could solve X and Y and Z problems like you had mentioned. Now, let's suppose that you and the firm go through those details and it fits into what you're looking for. What would you want the next step to be? Now, let's suppose that you and Sally go through the information and it fits into what you're looking for. What would you want the next step to be? Let me give you a warning. Never, ever, ever send out information to a prospect without first finding out if this is a serious person wanting to change your situation. Otherwise, you are wasting your valuable freaking selling time. All right. Hope that helped everybody. I just gave you a little nibble today. I gave you a little hors d'oeuvres. All right. If you want to actually acquire these skills, because what we show you guys in these lives, I know tens of thousands of you watch me on Reels. It seems like a lot of these Reels we have 500,000 people that watch them. They're like, I think I'm going to triple my income by one reel from Jeremy. All right. What we show you in the Reels in these lives is very basic stuff. We show you little nibbles. It's like a 300,000 piece puzzle. Do you know how much we show you in these lives and in this free content? We give you like one piece of that puzzle. So if you are in sales, if you're a serious sales professional, or you're a sales leader or manager, or if you want your teams to like double and triple the deals that they're doing for now, let's say you own the company. Okay. Let's say you're a salesperson. You want to start making your first 10 grand a month in commissions. Who in here wants to like seriously start making 10 grand, let's just say 10 to 15 grand every single month in commissions with what you sell? If that's you, type in me. Okay. Who in here wants to start making 20 grand every single month with what you sell? I'm not saying 1 month you make 20 and the next month you make 8. I'm saying like you go up every month. Who wants to start making 25 grand every single month with what you sell right now? I'm dead serious when I'm asking this question. It's like I'm dead serious. I'm a dead serious person. Okay. I'm sarcastic, but I'm dead serious. Who wants to start making 30 grand a month? Let's say you're already making 30 grand a month. Well, how are you going to get to 50 grand a month in commissions or 80 grand a month in commissions with what you sell now? If you say and ask the same things you're doing now, it'd be pretty hard, right? You're going to triple your work hours. So if you want to acquire those skills, like tens of thousands of our clients are, who are in the same exact industry as you watching me in this black shirt with these little weird, I don't even like these yellow stripes, Blake, but these yellow stripes, message me directly right now. Why wait to learn how to sell more than what you're selling now? I can assure you, we are training people in your industry that are making 2, 3, 5 times plus what you are now. And it's not because they have cooler hair. It's not because they wear shirts with stripes on them. They get up in the morning, they brush their teeth, they eat food. Apparently, we've even heard a rumor they drink water like you as well. They have kids, they have trials, they have tribulations, they have concerns. Do you know the only thing that separates them from you is they've just acquired more advanced skills that work with human behavior than what you've acquired so far? They're our clients. They're not just watching our free nibbles. How can you expect to triple your income from free nibbles? It's going to be pretty hard. So if that's you, message me directly right now. So if you're on TikTok and IG, love you guys, message me directly right now. Your racing stripes, Stan, thank you. If you're in the Facebook group, Sales Revolution, or if you're on LinkedIn or a Facebook business page here on StreamYard, message me directly right now. If you can't figure out how to message me directly because you're just an old dude like me, you don't know how, then post hashtag NEPQ. So in the comment sections, post hashtag NEPQ, post hashtag NEPQ. Now, either myself or one of my stunt doubles will message you back training options that we have for your industry if you want to make 2 and 3 and 5 times more than what you are making now. Message me directly right now. All right? All right, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. We've even got Blake's dog in the office today, man. What's he doing out there? Is he eating somebody?
She's just guarding your office.
She's guarding the office. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. If you celebrate Thanksgiving here if you're in the United States, hope you guys have a great time with your family. Curl up on a couch after you eat a bunch of pie. I know I will. I'm only going to try to gain 5 pounds this Thanksgiving instead of 10 like I normally do. So I don't come back in here next Monday like I cannot fit into my pants or something. All right. It's a struggle's real here. You know, like I'm a sugarholic, man. It's crazy. Struggle's real. So happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you back next week. We will not have any more lives tomorrow or Thursday that we normally do. Okay. And if you haven't joined the Facebook group, I know some of you are messaging in here. How do I join the Facebook group? I'm going to have some of our team members post on IG and TikTok, the free Facebook group. You guys can join that for free. Got about 40,000 of you in there. We go live in there 3 to 4 times a week with different Q&As, different trainings. If you're on YouTube, just go to salesrevolution.pro. So just go to salesrevolution.pro, salesrevolution.pro. Join the Facebook group for free. We'll post that here on TikTok and IG. Go to salesrevolution.pro, 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 salesrevolution.pro. You can join that for free. We will be back in action next week. No lives tomorrow because I'll be running around. No lives on Thursday because I'll be watching the Detroit Lions probably lose another football game. They're probably playing Thursday, right? They always play for Thanksgiving. I don't know why. Anyways, love you guys. I'll see you next week. Message me directly right now, and we'll see you soon. Get out of here. Let's TikTok, we're good. IG, love you guys. You can join the Facebook group, salesrevolution.pro. We'll see you guys soon. All right. See you guys on LinkedIn, YouTube. YouTube, we won't be able to message you on YouTube, so you'll have to join the Facebook group if you want to message us because we can't message you back on YouTube. We love you, though. Salesrevolution.pro. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll see you soon.